victorious women. It's Josephina Bashow, your pussy priestess here, coming to you to share with you my 3 secrets to manifesting my juiciest, most rapturous, heartfelt desires. I'm going to break down the 3 keys that are important to manifesting your desires and how to unlock these desires within you that come really from your core essence and from your deepest place of soul, satisfying, rapturous fulfillment. So many years ago, my teacher had told me something that was so profound, which is you cannot root yourself in someone else's garden. You cannot root yourself in someone else's garden. How incredible is that wisdom for many reasons. But for me, it speaks to me at the ideology of trying to plant myself and root myself in someone else's reality, in another man's reality, in another man's world, and entering into their life and rooting and planting myself, or rooting and entering myself into a community or tribe or places where I'm trying to fit in, which is what I used to do years and years ago, and trying to mold or shape or grow according to someone else's desires, according to someone else's desiring role for me to play in their world, in their garden, and in their reality. And so that powerful statement for me shifted everything. And I realized, I want to create my own Garden of Eden. I want to create my own garden of lusciousness, to luxuriate in, to revel and bask in the abundance of my heart's desires, specifically what I need, what I desire, in order to feel the deepest layers and levels within my body, within my being, within my heart, within my pussy, within my spirit, to feel deeply satiated and deeply satisfied, because anything less would feel unsatisfying. Anything else would feel bleak. It'd feel just, good to have, nice to have, but always longing for something more, because it doesn't get to the core part of what it is that I desire inside of me that is very specific and intrinsic to my desires that come from a deep place within me and a deep place within each and every single one of you that is unique to each of your soul's yearning, your soul's craving. So I want to share with you my 3 secrets to help you break it down in this 3-part video. We're going to release one of these videos each of the days over the next 3 days. And that way you can have enough time to digest it, to put into practice what I'm speaking about day to day to day, and then build upon this practice and see how you can unlock your deepest, most pleasurable, most potently aligned desires. And I want to preface and say this piece. When I speak about pleasure and when I speak about your desires, yes, I am talking about your most orgasmic state of desires. I'm talking about your most rapturous levels of confidence. I'm talking about the most wildly abundant, like bang, 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 bang kind of money that you could ever desire, on top of, as well as, well, in addition to, things in your life that go out of just the sensual, sexual, money arena. What about your romantic love? What about the desires you have to feel in your body, to feel alive, to feel liberated, to feel comfortable, to feel safe? What about your desires to show up more confidently at work, in the boardroom, being a leader, being a CEO or a creative or a lady boss or an entrepreneur? But maybe you're desiring to really lead from your feminine, not from your masculine space. Maybe you're desiring to magnetize and have the experience of actually sitting back in and opening and receiving and magnetizing versus going out and creating and efforting and doing. So what I want you to really feel into with this 3-part series is, what is your most juiciest yum desire? Your smallest desire as well as to your biggest desire, because your body, your pleasure, your turn on, your spirit does not judge the difference between a penny and a castle. It is absolutely the same thing when it comes to desire, but it's a matter of really getting in tune to and feeling and calling that desire forward. So here we go into this 3-part series of how you can manifest with my Pussy Priestess 3 key secrets to doing it. Let's go. Key number 1 to unlock your desires. Ready? Giving yourself the permission to have these desires in the first place. It seems so simple, and yet it is a really big challenge and one of the most important keys, which is why it's number 1. Because giving ourselves the permission to even have these desires, to celebrate, to voice, to speak, to claim. Ooh, number 1, claim that you have this desire. Claim that this desire actually exists inside of you, that it's something that you really want to have, free of shame, free of guilt, free of judgment. How many times do you ladies, you glorious ladies, have a desire and it comes up inside of you and then you stop the desire because you judge it? You judge it as wrong. You judge it as bad. You judge it as selfish. You judge it as too much. You judge it as too little. You judge it as wrong. You judge it as not yet. You judge it as I have to accomplish this first before I can have. All of these conditions that we put around and judgments and frameworks around just the idea of our desire and how that stifles the feeling and the sensation and the having in our own body of the desire itself for the sake of the desire. So the more that you allow yourself the permission to feel and to have the desire, the more that you can actually give yourself the permission to approve that this desire exists inside of you, the more that this desire can actually come alive inside of you, the more that you can feel more liberated and free from the shackles of constraints that are preventing you from even being aligned and even having the possibility of reality to receive this desire. Because what you're doing is you're sending out a contradictory energy. So you're having a desire come up inside of you. Let's say you have a desire for a new partner, a new lover, a new relationship, and you have this desire that comes up. And you're like, ooh, that would feel so good to have a lover, to have someone to like explore tantra with, to play with. And then suddenly you're like, ooh, no, I shouldn't want that. I should want a long-term relationship. I should want a lifetime partner. Oh no, what if it just means sex? Oh no, what if that's wrong? What if someone finds out about it? What if it's not going to happen? What if this turns out wrong? What if? You can fill in the blank. Right? You can put words to the narrative, whichever is running in your head. But I use that as an example for you to see how quick our mind will go into judgment of the desire that comes up. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to go out and act upon every single desire, but in order to manifest what is really meant for us, we do need to give ourselves the permission to feel our desire. Whatever it is that we need, whatever it is that we're feeling is divine. So giving ourselves radical permission to feel the desire, to have the desire. We don't need to act on the desire. Acting is a whole other thing, right? Hands off. But there's nothing that can stop you from feeling, thinking, and having the desire inside of you except for your own inner judgment, putting a kibosh and stopping the experience of you having the desire within. I'll give another real life example. You may have a desire to increase your level of self-care or time you have alone with yourself. You may be a woman who is very social and likes to go out and explore and be with friends and seeks connection continuously. But there may be a deeper desire inside of you to have more solitude, to have more solace and alone time in your sanctuary. And there's a part of you that wants to sit home and journal. And there's a deep desire that says, I want to just veg out and be at home and put tea on or Netflix and journal and be in my pajamas. But then there's another part of you that's like, oh, I need connection. I want connection. I need connection. So I'm going to go off and like get connection. But there's a moment to acknowledge both of these desires exist inside of you. Which desire feels stronger? and which desire is actually coming from the higher place that's going to satisfy you at the deepest level, on all levels, pleasure on all fronts, to the highest degree of satisfaction as possible for you to fully experience that desire. That's where my key secret there is, to lean into the permission, because it may not be what you think. You may think your highest expression is the connection, but when you really feel into your core desire and you give yourself the full permission, suddenly you may realize, wow, what I really crave and desire is to be alone in my pajamas with my knee-high socks, watching Netflix, having tea, journaling, and just being a puddle on the ground. And like that would feel the best. And so giving yourself permission to have that desire. So that is key number one. Claim your desire fully. Give yourself the permission to have the desire in the first place, free of judgment, free of blame, free of the idea of selfishness or being self-centered or having blame or shame or guilt or any of those lower vibrational thoughts. Just give yourself the permission to have the desire in the first place.